Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spodcast, where cartoons are no longer child's play. I'm Joe, and with us today are Charl and Mike, returning guests this time. We're going to be talking about doing a bit of a DC week, I think, tonight with the latest episodes of Young Justice, the Green Lantern animated series, and all the DC shorts. We should have been talking about this last week because that's when they came out, but oh well, we had a very lovely chat about French animated films with Charles that week. So everybody
Hell
say
yeah.
the Green Lantern animated series.
Yeah, let's kill it with fire.
And with that enthused start, I think we can. Yeah.
We talk about something happy like bunnies and stuff. Everyone likes bunnies. Nobody likes Green Lantern, apart from Joe.
Yes, I hate Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, come on. Come on then, Joe, talk about
Okay, so since you guys are so enthused, let's.
it.
Mike,
Tell
would
us
you like
what,
to give us
tell
a
the
synopsis?
viewers what it is.
And synopsis of the because you watched the
don't
first
let me.
episode.
Oh, don't. Oh, man. Okay, then. What do I say about it? There's the Green Lanterns, which, if you don't know about the series, which, to be fair, I don't know much about it either. Basically, the main character in it is Hal Jordan, who, according to DC comic lore, is the original human Green Lantern. He gets a magic ring from the aliens, the Green Lantern Corps, who are universe protected people. They're like the magical universe police of magical imagination powers. And he gets the ring, turns into a nice flying green guy, saves the universe a few times, etc., etc. And in this new series, the first episode shows him taking on some evil red lantern people. Ooh. And it was, for me personally, it was stupidly dull, if you can't tell from my very rubbish explanation of it.
Mm,
And yeah.
yeah. So you didn't like it then at all?
No, I mean, I don't know. It could have been better. For me personally, the dialogue was pretty naff. It was just really. I mean, it wasn't even corny or anything. It was just downright rubbish. The animation, while I'm sure the animators put in loads and loads of work on it, thought, oh yeah, we'll give it this really nice style and stuff. It just came across as incredibly simplistic and just rubbish. It just looked, for 2012, it looked pretty bad. I know in the last time I was on the show, we was having a bit of a go at the dragons, the how to Train a Dragon TV show. We had a go at that animation, but that was really good compared to this. That was brilliant compared to this, which says a lot for it.
Yeah. So yeah, not a fan then. Yeah. Okay, Sean.
I wouldn't go as far as saying not a fan, as much as just really didn't like it a lot. So yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else's opinion?
Okay, I couldn't get into Green Lantern the moment I first saw it. Just watching the CGI gave me a migraine, and I know very well CGI is very hard to do, and I really do applaud these guys, but it looked terrible. I need an example. Have any of you guys ever seen an episode of Transformers Prime?
Yeah.
Well, you know how the fact it's done in the same CGI man, except it's slightly better quality, but it's the same thing of every background is a rocky desert because it's so easy to draw, and there's never any people. There's no background characters. I didn't see that much of the Green Lantern live action film. I think I only saw like half of it before I gave up. But when he's with the Lantern Corps, that city is populated, filled to the brim with all these lanterns, and it's like, where's the people? Why is there no one here? It's so empty.
Yeah, it's like everyone kind of conveniently went on vacation. It was really, really kind of. Obviously, they've got to cut it down. obviously, a film budget's, just huge compared to a
Especially,
TV budget, but this is just
es-
the show just felt
especially with
barren.
yes, especially with CGI, where they avoid background as much as possible because it is that time wasting, that difficult to do. But
Yeah.
really, if you can't do backgrounds or just minor characters walking down the street, don't use CGI. It's simple as that.
That's the thing. I mean, obviously, to a degree, they can try and salvage it by going, "Oh, look, the background space. It's very large space. The universe is quite a large place." And it's like, "Oh, galaxies and stuff." But
Space is big, really, really big.
yeah,
Okay,
I
Especially,
think we can establish space is really, really big. And yeah, okay, you can get away with it for some of it. You can get away with it with space, I suppose.
I
But yeah,
especially love it during the second part of the opening premiere where when the planet blows up and the guy's like, "Don't worry, I saved most of the population." Most of the population. You got 20 people hovering over a green disc. Yeah, that's most of the planet's population.
well, bearing in
according
mind
to
this
the
is a
animations, yeah.
this is a colony frontier world sort of thing, so it wouldn't have had that many people on it.
Oh no,
It's
come
fun
on,
and
20
possible.
people. 20
Even
Yeah.
people. You are not going to repopulate a planet with 20 bloody people. This isn't the Bible. You know.
They
You
can
can't just
even
have like
say
10 Adams, 10 Eves and go, "Oh fuck it, let's go for it." It doesn't quite work like that.
and they didn't save any animals, plant life. They didn't even save the bloody farm animals. No, we're fine.
Exactly. You know,
We'll manage on this new planet somehow.
exactly. Green Lantern isn't a hero. Noah and his ark was a hero. You don't see Noah flying around the universe saving the world. No, you see Green Lantern saving 20 people on a giant rock.
Well, in his defense, Noah did shun the sinners of humankind and let them drown in the Great Flood, which does beg the question of how he and his wife managed to repopulate the human race.
I'll say, God
Anyway.
really picked a good guy, didn't he? He picked a really randy guy to, somehow save the universe. It's like, thanks. We've got saved by a man slut. Thank you. But I think we're trying away from the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
and
there go all the
rubbishness of
Renaissance
this show.
watchers anyway. Yeah. The thing is that it's one of those series which I do. There are some. I've watched the whole thing. I've watched the whole thing, and I've watched the beginning of of season 2, which came out recently. It does get better. I will say this: it does get better, but this is mainly from my perspective as a DC lore nut. There are various bits in which sort of have. Yeah,
if you're not
They're
really, if you're not really a DC fan, do you think you'd be able to get into it much better?
well, possibly. I mean, there are certainly a lot more interesting characters who turn up later. It has to be said. There are a lot more sort of interesting concepts and so on and so forth. Like, there's a concept which includes a sentient planet, which is pretty damn awesome.
So,
Which
I
is
think, I mean, it's all right having good stories and stuff, but if the dialogue and the animation just can't really back it up, there's only so
Exactly,
much
yeah.
you can forgive. It's like, no matter how much you love a show, it's like the Green Lantern film. Like Ryan Reynolds' acting was actually okay. I mean, as far as it could go, really, with something like that. But the bad guy was rubbish. I mean, the graphics were decent. But there's only so much you can forgive. You can't just say, "Oh, Ryan Reynolds and great graphics." No, that's not enough. You need a decent story. You need less cheese.
yeah.
Speaking
Speaking of bad guys being rather pathetic, what did you guys? I thought the character of Razor, the sort of Red Lantern Razor who was all reluctant in the opening episode. Does anybody else feel he came off a little bit as Zuko light?
Like, there was no builds of no nothing. I knew from 1 second he was going to turn into a good guy at some point. They're not even hiding it.
He does, yeah, he does. He totally does.
But I do have to ask a
Yes,
question.
the very next episode.
Yes, I do have to ask a question though. When your business that you sign up for makes it its general law to blow up planets and kill populations, how do you not know you're working for the bad guys?
I assume it's in the series. It makes it clear that the whole Red Lantern ring is a more of a sort of lethal contractual obligation. Like you accept the ring, and if you ever take it off, you instantly go into cardiac arrest, sort of thing.
But that doesn't explain
So-
the fact why Zuko over here is like, you Lanterns are evil bunch. I'm on the good side, dude. You're on the bad side. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Oh, dear God, you're right. I am.
It's like a real big
Yeah,
bitch
it does kind of go like that,
slap in the
actually.
face.
I mean, when your boss is named Atrocitus and looks like the fucking devil, it kind of, it raises a few questions.
There are subtle hints here and there, you know. I think they did a real good job with the subtlety, you know. Great job.
Yeah, I do think that Atrocitus is pretty awesome as a villain, though, because later in the series you find he's actually got this whole religion of hate almost, which is really. I mean, in the comics, the Red Lanterns were pretty much very one-dimensional, sort of. We must kill everything, sort of. We must kill everything. Go and kill everything. Kill, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whilst in this, they've actually more melded into a more sort of. I'm not saying it's more dimensions because of the fact it is literally just swapping one set of one-dimensional characteristics for another. But it's an interesting way of doing it, an interesting sort of way of sort of going at it. So you've got the very sort of law and order guardians of the universe versus this quite religious, fanatical army of Red Lanterns. It's a very interesting idea, I think.
I don't think the villains were too... they weren't too bad in the Green Lantern animated series. If anything, they were probably one of the better parts to a degree. You know, if there were, you know, good characters in it, they were probably some of the better ones. I guess.
By the way, you know the guy who does. Do you know the guy who does? You know Zelias Zax, the sort of little round guy. Guess who he's voiced by?
Martin Freeman.
Nope, Tom Kenny. SpongeBob is voicing a psychopathic little round blob.
That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah. And to be fair, yeah.
Exactly.
And of
Your
course,
voice SpongeBob, does that really shock you? That is a psychopath.
Considering he also voiced Starscream from Transformers Animated, no, not really.
That's actually a good point.
He also voiced Spyro the Dragon as well, and the Ice King.
The original Spyro, or older Spyro.
The original Spyro, PS1 era Spyro.
That I do like.
Yeah.
So the original three Spyros.
And no, he voiced the Professor from PS1 era Spyro.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those ones for me. It's one of those ones which sort of, in terms of some technical aspects, it's competently executed. Like voice acting, there's no real hiccups when it comes to that.
So yeah, there's nothing wrong with the actual voice acting. It's just the dialogue. You know, they were just given a stupid script. So I mean, you can't have a go at voice actors. You know, if they're pulling out some really bad lines. It's just what they've been told to say. You know. So I don't have a problem with voice acting. Voice acting was alright, I guess. You know, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Just really shit lines.
Yeah, sort of really scraping the bottom of the barrel if we're trying to find some decent thing to say about it. We're saying the voice acting's all right.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose it's like I suppose it's like telling Morgan Freeman to do a really cheesy advert about toilet cleaning or something. You're not gonna go, Morgan Freeman, you've done a shit job here. No pun intended. You know, you're not going to go, Morgan Freeman, what the hell are you doing, man? You know, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? It's Morgan Freeman's voice. You know, it's just he's been given a really shit job. So,
yeah,
the voice acting. There's nothing wrong with the voice acting at all. You know, it's all right. Just yeah, really, really bad dialogue. Really, to a
So
really
yeah,
bad show.
Green Lantern
Personally.
animated series. Green Lantern animated series does not get anybody's seal of approval, with the exception of mine, sort of.
Yeah,
The same.
that's
First
say,
episode in, I
there,
was confused.
that's hard to say. I suppose, yeah, if you're a Green Lantern fan, and you'll probably have to back me up on this, I'm not sure. If you're a Green Lantern fan, I guess
If you're a Green
you would
Lantern fan,
enjoy
you
this.
haven't already been bitterly disappointed by the movie.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose you would enjoy this. Would that be correct, Joe?
I'd probably say that'd be correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Correct. If you're a fan of Green Lantern, particularly of the more recent run of Green Lantern, then you would enjoy this. Otherwise, then yeah,
Keep away. Save yourself.
keep away, save yourself.
Fear
Anyway.
the armada of red lanterns, where there's only 3 of them.
I'll say they weren't exactly a huge call, were they?
You really can't
There
have
are
a
more.
menacing opening when it's just like, where's our population? Can't show it. Then fear the 3 of us on our floating religious kingdom. Yeah.
There are more which turn up later. There ends up being about 7 main lanterns, which we get to see.
7-man army?
Oh,
I am
shit.
so...
Oh
they are
man,
reckon
things
with.
just got real over here. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Sorry, Joe. We're not mocking
Let's-
you. We're mocking the show. That's
it's fine. It's fine.
anyway.
Young
please,
Justice.
please, let's move on, please.
Young Justice, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay, Young Justice!
Yeah, that okay. This was a bit better. I won't deny.
I love it.
Mm.
Go on, Joe. Do you
Okay,
want to
so-
try and describe it a bit?
I think let's have Charl describe it for a bit.
Yay!
Take it away.
I
Okay,
think that's descriptive enough.
Okay, if you want to jump in knowing about the DC universe, you're in the wrong area because it jumps in expecting you to know about the DC universe. Basically, all the sidekicks, we got Aqualad, we got Robin, we got Speedy, we got all that good stuff, and they're coming together because at their age they are allowed to kind of officially join the Justice League, and that they're very disappointed when it's like they're going through a slow system because you guys are still young, so we're not really making you members. You got apprenticeship into being members, and let's say Speedy doesn't take it too well. So due to other reasons, they meet Superboy, they meet Megan, the niece of the Martian Manhunter, which still confuses me to this day because I thought he was the last of his kind.
Oh, you'll find out why she's in there later.
Okay.
You'll find out why she's in later.
And long story short, we got Artemis who joins the crew later, and I haven't mentioned Walt. The Kid Flash is also part of the main group who started out. And they, using an old the Justice League, make their own sort of Justice League, and Batman is overseeing them. What's the Red Titan, Red Tornado, Red something?
Red Tornado and Black Canary, yeah. They're the sort of
Red Tornado
den
and Black
mothers.
Canary are sort of, den mothers training them and all that good stuff. And this is not, something happens and the team goes off to do it. Stuff is happening. Members are coming in, members are disappearing, so it's a lot like Avengers. We got story arcs, we got this whole talk of a mole in the Justice, and you're not sure which one is actually the Artemis to begin with, and it's like, no, it can't be Artemis at all. It's really good. It's clever.
Yeah.
It has clever writing.
One of the things which I described it as a while ago was basically being the Justice League Black Ops almost. Instead of all the sort of missions they take in the series. It's very sort of underground, very sort of secretive and so on and so forth. They're not allowed to sort of, even though they end up causing a bit of damage, they're all sort of, the Justice League are the ones which are sort of doing all the sort of really super heroic stuff, and these guys are actually doing all the sort of secretive background stuff and actually doing quite a lot on their own. So they're actually infiltrating compounds and so on and so forth.
So, yeah, well, to
So
be honest,
anyway.
I only really watched the first episode, not really knowing much. Again, like I said, not really knowing much about the DC universe. Apart from obviously, just a generalized basic knowledge.
Yeah.
And I only really watched the first episode. I didn't really carry on into it. I thought if I just watch the first episode, I can analyze it from a bit more of a kind of
Fresh eyes.
more of a
Almost.
doofus kind of perspective. I guess.
Translation: he didn't feel like watching the next episode.
Okay, basically. Uh, but no, I quite enjoyed it. I mean, I won't deny. I've never really been bothered about sidekicks and stuff. Robin, never really been fussed about it. He's just a little brat that's just he's just there. It's like, forget about you little bugger. Just, I want to watch Batman. Don't care about you. The others, I didn't even know they existed. The other kids. Did they just make some of those kids up just for the convenience of the show? I'm not really.
Yeah. No, all in DC lore.
Oh, really?
All of them are characters in lore.
Oh, fair
Wally
enough.
West Yeah.
Right, well,
Kid Flash actually becomes Flash later on when his mentor gets elsewhere.
all right, so that's the thing. They just. I suppose if you're not really that well versed in DC Universe, while obviously a lot of you will probably go, oh yeah, Robin, Robin. Maybe not quite as kind of orgasmic as that.
Yes. Viewers, if you want an example, Joe is on the extreme end of knowing everything there is to know about the DC universe. I'm in the middle of I know, but I don't go out looking for that much. And our friend Mike is on the way, way, way other end of not caring.
Okay, in this, basically, if this is the show for you,
Yeah,
if
well,
this
that's
is the
it.
show
I
for
mean,
you, you will know who Sportsmaster is. If this is the show for you, you'll know who Sportsmaster is. That's it. Any other sort of side characters or anything like that, it's just going to go right over your head. Everything, you can get into it, and you can learn about these characters, but in order to get all the references and all the sort of little moments where I have, and I am unashamed to say, I have squeed in excitement to see these characters actually getting an animated debut, yeah, it's going to be not as enjoyable if you don't go in with sort of having the DCU encyclopedia on your lap.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I'm assuming that Superman clone guy that you see at the end of the first episode. I'm assuming that was some kind of reference to the clones they made of Superman in that kind of whole guide kind of thing. Maybe is that what it is, or was there actually some kind of actual proper clone?
Most of this stuff has come from the comics. There are some, certainly later on, there are some storylines which they do in the comics, but I actually do better in Young Justice. It has to be said. Like, has anybody seen Atop the Fourth Wall with the whole Rise of Arsenal sort of thing? Yeah, they do the Arsenal storyline in this as well, but they actually do it in a lot much more sort of concise and a lot sort of more true to the character, a lot better and a lot more in-depth sort of way. You don't get sort of zombie ghost Leanne telling her father to go on drugs and become a 90s anti-hero. So you've got, it's a lot more sort of, in some ways it's actually better than the, I dare say in some ways it's actually better than the comics. And yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, basically, I didn't mind Young Justice actually. It was all right. It was quite enjoyable, even for someone like me who doesn't really know much about the DC-verse. I mean, I know tidbits and stuff. I know some of the basic stories that happened like to Batman and Superman, but I can't say I really care about a guy who can run fast. I don't really care about magic green guy. I've never really been bought, and I don't care about Mr. Magical Robin, modern day Robin Hood. I've never really cared about that guy. I've never really cared about that much of the DC universe. So, if anything, I've been more kind of into Marvel stuff, I suppose.
Yeah. It's good to have you on board though, as a sort of pair of fresh eyes. So yeah.
Yeah, but Young Justice wasn't actually too bad. Yeah, I
Mm.
quite enjoyed it. The characters were quite good. The animation was quite good. Um, yeah, like I said before, I really didn't care that much for Robin, but in this, I was like, actually, no, he's all right. Not too bad. I'm still more like, yeah, prefer Batman. But
Yeah.
it was it was a decent show. It showed the characters kind of these younger characters almost like growing up, and you saw them almost growing up, trying to get
Yeah,
accepted as adults, which
that's one of the big themes of the show, which
yeah.
was themes of the show, which turn out later. It's actually really quite an interesting show.
Hmm.
Charles, your thoughts, your final thoughts, everyone. Mike sort of said that his is sort of gives it the thumbs up, even though he doesn't really know about all the stuff. Mine's a definite sort of probably heard. Mine's a definite thumbs up from me. Charles?
I don't know nearly as much about D as you do, but I know enough to know characters I'm looking at, and the ones I don't, I know their relationship to other characters that are kind of helping me along. But I am enjoying this. I like the twists and turns. I like the dark story arcs it's going. Also, I'm amused by their relationship in general, because it gets off straight away that some of these lads actually know each other and have history of their mentors actually teaming up at some points. Then they have characters who they've only just met for a few months now, and they're still learning how to act, how to get along. And it has that real twist dilemma. They're not close best friends like you would see in Teen Titans, where you know everyone likes each other despite their differences, and you know how they get along with each other. With these guys, they're still learning about each other, or in this case, they're already close friends with someone in the group, so they like to stick with that person. And it doesn't feel like slowly getting together, being the best team ever, but it doesn't show them jumping in as best friends. It is a real situation, and it acts like it's real.
Mm.
This is really how I
Okay.
think like animation cartoons should be going by now. This is what 2012 cartoons should be heading towards. You know, we we
Mm.
don't want to see like how you were saying about Teen Titans, how they just all magically got on perfectly. It's not like that. We need to see more kind of in depth, more kind of realism, as far as realism can go in the cartoons. We need to see them
As far
growing
as you can
up
get.
and like
Yeah.
learning to deal with each other. And
Mm.
this show is a step in the in the right direction.
Mm.
Definitely. In terms of characterization, I think, yeah, it's a really, really good show.
Okay. So that's the two big shows which have come out from DC. Now let's have a look at some of their shorts. I gave you a list of shorts to have a look at. Um, the let's have a look. I gave you World's Funnest by Aardman Animation,
Uh,
Super Best Friends Forever by Lauren Faust, which is all you need to know.
uh,
Um, The Batman of Shanghai, which was a small three-part series, and
uh,
uh, the new Teen Titans. Speaking of Teen Titans, thoughts?
Animal Man! He's
Yes.
thing.
brilliant! I must say, the cow train! I love him. I'm watching you.
For me,
Okay.
they were just okay. All of them apart from the Batman in Shanghai one, I just found were rubbish. And in all cases, for all of them, I just found what was the point in it. I'm not really sure, Joe. Why did DC make them? I'm not really sure what the point of them was. I mean, say with the fellow
Basically,
with the Green Lantern animation stuff, there's a reason. They're making it. They're making it for money. They're making it for the kids and whatnot. For these shorts,
basically, they're wanting to introduce more people to more obscure characters.
what,
The
what
only
was the point in them? Why are they around?
They wanted
Well,
to
it really
introduce
put me
people
off
to
from
more
if anything.
obscure characters, I mean, people like stuff like Super Best Friends Forever. That was sort of a pet project they specifically gave to Lauren Faust. World's Funniest, again, they specifically gave it to Marvel, and very much the same styles of Creature Comforts. Unity Titans, they wanted to continue milking the Teen Titans cash cow for as long as possible. Batman of Shanghai, I think they were just wanting to give a new artist a new possible vision, new possible outlet. But as for the rest of them, mainly it's to sort of introduce new people to more obscure characters in the DC universe. More interesting, yeah.
I just really the Aardman one, it's like, oh yeah. The only thing about that was the Aardman one was basically just, oh yeah, Aardman animation, yay. But the whole thing was shit, basically. It was like, yay, Aardman animation, but that wasn't enough to go on. That was the only thing that was like, yeah, Aardman animation. It was just, that what, I don't know, why was Superman a little child eating cookies and saying things that weren't even funny? Just strange. It's just that was just stupid. Then you had the kind of like, then you had all those, all the girls and stuff like, going on about the invisible jet, like Wonder Woman's invisible jet. That was just something, you could have saw in a superhero version of Mean Girls, I guess. Then you had the Teen Titans one. Hell, that was so interesting. I can't remember what the hell it was about anymore.
Mad Mod Turning Back Time, I think it was.
And then the Shanghai one.
But yes.
Sorry?
That was fun.
Yeah, and then you had like the Batman. You had the Man in Shanghai thing. That was just, oh god, yeah, it was beautiful. The animation was gorgeous, and it was, a nice, intriguing idea to, try and change, do a bit of switch around. I'd make the characters, very kind of oriental. But aside from that, it was not that great. I didn't think personally. It was just the animation was quite nice. Yeah, I could have saw that. It didn't need to be about Batman or anything. It could have just been about anything. It could have been about any random characters, and I still would have gone, yeah, the animation is quite nice. So, yeah, for me personally, if you hadn't gathered by now, I really, really did not like the shorts. In fact, if anything, I preferred the Green Lantern animation to the shorts. Yeah, that bad.
Fair enough. Yeah. Charl, your thoughts? Apart from Animal Man is awesome.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why this exists. I mean, it obviously looks like kind of like something Nickelodeon would do as little ads in between their commercials. But despite how weird and goofy DC actually is, if you actually analyze it, I've always respected it and saw it as on a very mature level. So to see all this, it's humorous, I guess. But again, I don't really see the point in it. And I'm not really sure if it's respecting the characters I love, or is it really gone off the Looney Tunes deep end?
Well, it is now owned by Warner Brothers, so they're probably saying anything which is animated needs to be Looney Tunes style. But yeah.
That's the thing, I suppose, if you're a fan of DC, or at least, okay, this is how I imagine it is. If you're a fan of DC, you're going to find these as just, stupid and childish. If you're not a fan of DC, you're going to see these as, what the fuck? Why are they, what's going on? Am I supposed to be interested in this? Why, this is really doing nothing for my love of DC at all. This is really not making me want to run off to Waterstones and buy some graphic novels. So,
the thing is that...
go on, Joe.
It's one of those ones where... The thing is that I actually agree with you on this. I mean, as much as I do like certainly some of the ideas behind it, the execution is, quite frankly, most of it is a bit pants. I mean, the new Teen Titans stuff is sort of alright because of the fact they've got enough sort of backstory and enough sort of silly... The show is fairly silly anyway, so it just feels like a continuation of that, but that just also feels a little bit cold and analytical and thinking we must milk the cash cow. World's Funnest, it basically feels like a Creature Comforts rip-off with DC characters. Super Best Friends Forever. It does have some good moments in it. In the later stuff, there are some funny stuff.
I'd say that was one of the worst ones, definitely.
Yeah. But it does just quite a lot of the things about it just makes me think of does make me think of like My Little Pony. And when you compare anything to My Little Pony, you are going to come out poorly. Animal Man was quite fun because of the fact it was just ridiculously goofy. Batman of Shanghai, as you said, beautiful animation, and so beautiful animation certainly makes people sort of turn their heads about it. But again, I have to say, none of these are particularly special. They do just feel a little bit like they feel like padding at the end of the day. They're not adding anything of value. They're just meant to be sort of little shorts to keep the kids amused.
Yeah, but that's the thing. To be fair, it was just, I think what it was a good concept. It's probably just something. It's like okay, it's like, say, you know, how I'm a film student, and you know, you're a drama student, and we have to think of ideas for a plot. We come up with some great concepts, but that doesn't mean they're going to come out great. That doesn't mean they're a good idea. Yeah, just because we think, you know, it's like somebody in the DC office just went, you know what we should do? Wouldn't it be really good to see, you know, what would it be like if we saw some of the, you know, superheroes as, you know, kind of you know, done by Aardman Animation? You know, if we saw them very Wallace and Gromit-esque, what would that, you know, it'd be quite quirky, would it? I imagine it'd be quite. And the other guys are just like, yeah, actually, that would be quite funny. Yeah, we should totally do this. And afterwards, they're like, oh shit, what have we done? And then it's like the Batman in Shanghai one. I thought, okay, what if we give it this really cool animation? That could be pretty cool. It's like, yeah, no, that sounds really awesome. They give it a go, and they're like, yeah, oh god, this is beautiful. Yeah, but apart from that, no, it's pretty shit. You know, it's like I said, just, you know, it's like I said before. You know, it didn't need to be about Batman. It could have been about Jeffrey the magical ninja, the Boris the big giant hulk of a man, and Jemima the cat thief. Screw it, yeah, Jemima the cat thief. You know, it could have been about anybody, and we still would have gone, oh, pretty colours, pretty animation. Yeah, we didn't care about that. We didn't care. I didn't care that it was about Batman that much. You're just like, oh yeah, it's Batman. You look at that. You know. I don't know. What do you think?
I sort of get what they're trying to do. Osman's interview documenting where instead of people as animals talking about their socialized, there's a bunch of kids who are fans of Batman talking about Batman, asking rather bizarre questions, but it's not really well executed. And even the shy Batman thing, I was just plain confused by it, because I was like, no, not Batman. I don't care what you're doing. This is not my Batman.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's a good, if you were doing a whole bunch of shorts on the web, it looks like you'll make a good web series, but I'm not really sure what they're trying to do with it.
Yeah, it's already, I mean, Joe, do you know when they were using them? Did they just post online, or did they use them on Cartoon Network, kind of in between shows, like, you know, how Charl was saying about, you know, Nickelodeon stuff, or what?
They've been putting them in between shows, as far as I know.
I think that's okay. If I was like a 4-year-old, I would watch
I suppose, you know,
really, it's kind of turning me off DC.
But I think, like, I suppose that you know, if you're a 4-year-old watching that in between your favorite superhero shows, you're not going to go, oh, wow, this is really good animation. I really like what they've done, you know, with the colours and the, you know, and the concept is really intriguing. No, they're just going to go, oh, what? Oh, you know, Mom, is that bad? You know, they're going, what the hell's going on? You know, it was really stupid. It's like, you know, when you come up with a stupid idea while drunk, and then you think, yeah, we should totally do this. And then in the morning, you stop and, you know, you're sober up, and you have a moment of clarity, and you're like, Nah, that's stupid. Why, Michael? Why the hell did you even think of that? Why the hell did you think giving a goat a cape and making it tap dance to Barbie Girl by Ackle would be a good idea? At least you thought. At least, thankfully, I did not find. It's like thankfully you don't find the goat during the night, so you can't perform such cruel acts upon it. Whereas DC,
You're
and I
really
was pointing out this
hard
didn't
enough.
actually happen. This is just an example. But it's like the DC got, the people in the DC office, unfortunately, thought of the idea while drunk and unfortunately managed to pull it off before sobering up. And, they kind of woke up in the morning, looked at the results and like, oh, shit. I suppose we ought to plonk this on TV now. Oh, so fuck it, we made it now. Let's just go with it. I can't do much bad to us.
They probably thought, somebody will pay for it. Somebody will pay for it.
Exactly.
So yeah, final thoughts. The shorts are not particularly anybody's cup
I
of
think
tea.
it turns me
Yeah,
off on
pretty
DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just the Shanghai one, nice animation, but aside from that, it was all load of. It was a load of knackers.
Okay. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we can wrap up the show. It's been thanks to Mike and Charl for turning up, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.